Let's go ahead and start the demo for the investor. And the purpose of this demo is to show how incredibly easy it is for the average person to get started in Univah. So we're not just targeting large studios. Actually, we're not targeting them at all. What we realize is that if we can make Univah appeal to the everyday person, even if you have no experience in 3D, if Univah can be easy to anybody, then that's a much larger market. The purpose of us showing you the task manager was to prove that you don't need a $5,000 GTX or RTX graphics card to run the Univah film engine. Very quickly, as you can see, we've added our first object and our first light. We've added a plane. We can go to the color tab to change the color of the plane. Now we've added our second object, which is a cube. And we're going to click on the plane and disable physics for the plane. You're going to see why later. And if by any chance you move an object and you didn't mean to, you can just go to reset and reset that object back to its original position. You can select objects two ways, by either clicking directly in the viewport, or if for any reason an object is occluded by another object and it's hard for you to select that object in the viewport, go ahead and click it in the outliner. So using the outliner to select objects is the most accurate way to select objects in Univah. Every object that you select is going to have attributes in the attribute editor. That's what you see me doing right now. So I have the torus selected, and we can do so many fun things with each primitive. So in 3D, we have primitives such as cubes, spheres, toruses, okay? And each of these objects has its parameters. And we can completely transform the look of an object by simply playing with these parameters, as you see here. So we can turn a torus from looking like a simple torus to looking like a spaceship. We can make it look like an alien spacecraft. There's a lot that you can do with a torus just by editing these parameters. And everything is real time. That's what's great about Univah. It's so fun for people to play with. That's why the tool is not just for big animation studios. So don't be intimidated by the fact that we do show animation studios using the tool. It's really for anybody who wants to tell a story in 3D. That's our target audience. Anybody who has ever wanted to make really cool effects, but they couldn't do it previously in other tools because other software was just really hard to learn. In Univah, as you can see, the learning curve is basically non-existent. It's so easy. Apart from AI, which is basically just typing text in a small text editor and pushing enter, the Univah Film Engine is the easiest 3D software to learn. So right now, we're going to apply some physics and make this fun. I love physics. Adding movement, bringing things to life, very easy in Univah. There we go. So now we have gravity applied. And because we added a unit of 10 to the y-axis for the force, that's why every time we reset the physics, it pushes up and falls right back to the ground. So this is a really quick and very easy way to bring objects to life in Univah. Now let's go to religion, because I think you're going to really, this is what the average everyday user is going to probably spend hours playing with. So even if you have no intention of making a Hollywood level 3D animation, just the fact that you can come into Univah, click on something, deform it, and then use religion and make multiple copies of the deformed object, that alone is going to make people so excited. Because this means that you can duplicate anything. You can make any shape. So let's say you had 20 chairs, or you created some really cool custom shape and you wanted to make an animation of that, duplicate it, just use Religion VFX, add physics. And what's cool about this, because the Univah Film Engine is highly procedural, now, after duplicating all these objects, we can go right back into the deformers and deform it live, and everything changes together. So being able to see this and do this with any object that you select is incredible. And look how fast it is. Anybody can do this. Univah makes it so easy. Anybody can do this. It's a very approachable software. And that's what we're counting on. The tool isn't only highly competent. Yes, it's a highly competent tool. Yes, it's deliberately meant to be a very powerful tool for studios. But an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old, the 26-year-old freelancer is now going to be able to do what previously was only capable or possible in very expensive software. So when you look at what Univah is capable of, and notice how throughout this whole process, not once did we have to use a plugin, not once did we have to download anything, not once did we have to install a separate plugin or add on and then restart Univah. We don't have to do any of those things. But that's how Unreal Engine works. In Unreal Engine, you have to enable this plugin, enable that plugin, restart Unreal Engine, then start it again, and then restart Unreal Engine again. So a lot of times your workflow consists of enabling a plugin in Unreal Engine, restarting Unreal Engine, then enabling another plugin, and then restarting Unreal Engine before you can even get started on doing what you really want to do. But because we have a no plugin philosophy, we believe in providing very powerful, all the powerful features that you see in other tools. We take it a step further. We provide those features, we take it a step further. We truly do innovate here, and we believe in not just matching features that you've seen in other tools, but taking it a step further. And we do not do it as a plugin. Everything comes native in Univah. These are native, deeply ingrained features. And it's so easy. Religion VFX is the DNA of Univah. It's so easy. So whether it's using our quick physics system or using Religion VFX or making a custom animation using the timeline, Univah is for anybody who has ever wanted to tell a story in 3D. That's the target audience. Univah is for anybody that has ever wanted to make a cool effect in 3D. And given our workflow, look at the workflow. Look at how things are so conveniently named. It's a very common sense type of software. It's very beautiful to look at. The viewport is stunning. Okay, if I do say so myself, this viewport is a lot more interesting to look at than the Maya viewport, the Autodesk Maya viewport. Not that interesting. Okay. The Univah Film Engine viewport is meant to provide final pixel quality, offline rendering quality, directly in the real-time viewport. And to those of you who are new to 3D, the viewport, whenever you hear us say viewport in 3D, we're talking about the area in the middle where all the fun is happening. So this area in the middle, that's the viewport. I had to clarify that because I remember one time I was giving a presentation and I kept saying viewport, viewport, viewport. And there were a lot of people in the audience who had never used 3D software before. So they're like, well, what is a viewport? So that was really eye-opening for me because I just assumed everybody knew what a viewport was. So I have to remember that when we teach these tools to people that are coming in fresh and have never used a 3D software before, even something as simple as viewport, we may assume that everyone knows what that is, but they may not. So let's teach the tool as though people don't know everything. Let's not assume knowledge. Let's make sure that people know from the ground up how to use the tool. And because it's so incredibly approachable and fun and easy to learn, as you can see, in under 20 minutes, you'll be able to do physics, you'll be able to learn religion VFX, you'll be able to add an effector, you'll be able to do all these incredibly powerful things that when you understand the foundation of the tool, You're just now layering these effects and you're applying them now with your own creativity to create incredible things. It's about understanding the foundations of things. I had somebody who asked me once, they were like, Steph, why are all your videos about cubes? All you do is move cubes around. So we had a young lady who saw our tools and she was like, all you guys do is move cubes around. And I was like, that's funny, um, because that's the foundation. If you can do it with a cube, you can do it with anything. Okay, so the key when we do these demos, of course, we have some really cool demos where we show you like film quality stuff, but primarily showing you how to work with primitives like spheres, toruses, cubes. That's the foundation of 3D. Okay, everything really starts with a cube. So that's why we use cubes a lot, the primitives. For those of you who don't know why we do that, that's why. Okay, so this is a great example here of how to use these PBR settings here. These parameters are powerful because very quickly we can make the back of a pot. So if you've ever seen like a metal pot, the back of a pot typically looks like this. Those little things that you see on a pot or a CD. If you've ever wanted to create that, just using the anisotropic slider going both ways from positive to negative does that effect. And you can control it. Isn't that cool? Here's another cool thing about Univah. You can animate just about anything. If it's on a slider, chances are you can animate it. Okay, so a lot of what you see in Univah, you can keyframe. That's what makes it so powerful. You're going to love it. Once we get deeply into religion VFX and you see all of what you can animate and keyframe, you're going to be very excited. So that's how we demo this tool, showing things such as importing FBX files, importing animated FBX files, then importing an alembic animation file with physics baked on, importing baked animated hair or baked physics and baked hair. All of these more complicated features, we demo this for the potential investor, and that's how you start to see just how powerful this tool is. Okay, so again, don't forget the Univers Film Engine is a film engine. It's meant for you to be able to use it as the final step in your 3D animation process. Okay, so this is where you come when you're ready to render your 3D animations that you've made in Maya, in Blender, in 3D Studio Max, in Cinema 4D. You bring those animations here via FBX or Alembic, and we will render it all night long in the highest quality possible. It's a lot more fun to do it in Univah because in Univah you want to do all your lighting here since it's real time. You want to do all your shading here, okay? You can do your shading in your other software. Just make sure it's PBR. If it's physically based, it's going to work here as well, okay? So it's just really fun because whatever you've done that's physically based in Cinema 4D or 3D Studio Max, when you bring that into Univah, you can edit that live in Univah. Because once you add lights, things may look a little differently. And so being able to live edit those PBR qualities, such as roughness, metallicness, using sliders in Univah, that's really great. That's going to save you so much back and forth. Okay, we really want to avoid going back and forth, go to Maya, come back to Univah, go to Maya again, go to 3D Studio Max, go to Cinema 4D, then bring it back to Univah. Yeah, we're trying to avoid that. So here's the beautiful thing. I had a potential investor ask me in one of our meetings, he said, what is Univah going to become? And I said, it can become whatever we want. That's the power of making your own software. We can make this whatever we want.